I guess this week has been peak cinema, if you even can call it that. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting games. I would say. I already started my day Sunday watching the Bears. Destroy the Jags. So that already made my day. To start off before the noon slate and all the afternoon and Sunday night football. Um, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot of good games, a lot of bad games.
A lot of bad games too. But yeah,
But I would say it was it was fun. I mean, football Sunday is always gonna be fun. So,
yeah.
um, regardless of the scores, regardless of like the games, so I was excited to watch Red Zone, and watch the Bears game. Obviously, watch the Steelers game. Watch. I mean, I guess Sunday Night Football is all right, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Sobacksports podcast, and this is episode. Is it 13? I'm starting to lose track at this point, but I see you're putting your charger. But anyways, remember everyone that's watching, if this is your first time watching, welcome. And every Tuesdays and Thursdays we do put out new episodes. Kind of go over the games, kind of go over the headlines and various aspects of the NFL and talk about the Chicago Bears as well, since we are both Bears fans. Please always remember to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to the channel and podcast. It really helps me create content like this for you guys. And I think, you know what? Let's just get straight into the pick'ems and kind of go from there and talk about each game. And this week, I think this is my best week by far. Oh, I'm already way ahead of the game. Okay.
Well, real
Um,
quick, real quick.
mhm.
This is just something because I was watching the Monday Night Football game. Does Joe Flacco look like Aaron Rodgers? Like it's like they're like lookalikes? No, I'm being so serious.
No, they're not. But I
Like
see
like
what you
like
mean.
like,
They're both
like the face
old.
scan, like the face scan. If like you're not not like side by side, but if you like look from like the helmet's perspective,
Yeah,
they
I
look
mean, yeah,
like
from afar, yeah, but like they're
Joe
not the same.
Flacco.
But yeah, I mean,
Understand?
in a sense, they're both the same. They both had one Super Bowl.
And the
Um,
Jets, they're playing on the Jets.
yeah, they played
But
the. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, this week I went pretty. I'm 51-40 now, which is an improvement. You know, um,
I don't know why
and
you chose the Seahawks over the Niners.
listen, I just thought it was gonna be an interesting game. I thought the Seahawks will actually come in because the 49ers, based on what it seemed like, they were banged up. So that was my reasoning. I mean, Seattle's also banged up as well, but oh shoot, all the way down for. Oh, okay. Anyway, um, sorry, we're just watching. I'm watching this. I have this thing on the game on the side as well, um, but Seattle just didn't look good in this game for the beginning, and then they started to pick it up near the end. The Niners, it's really hard to gauge them because they are just injured. But Brock Purdy plays really well. Garendo came in, played well for Mason, who was hurt. And yeah, I mean, the Seattle Seahawks are just young. They started this season 3-0 and then lost three straight. Uh, what are your thoughts on Geno Smith?
I think he's a solid quarterback. It's just I feel like I just have a question for the Seahawks. Is he your long term quarterback? Right? Is he like the long term future? But I think he played solid. He did have a costly turnover at the end of the game, which really costed him that game. Against the Niners, they had a chance actually if he doesn't throw that interception. But I like the Seahawks weapons. Like I feel like they have good weapons. They have a solid team. And look, if Geno still struggles, which I don't think he will, but if he continues to struggle, I think you put in Sam Howell in. But
I don't.
I don't think the Seahawks have reached to that point yet. I think Geno is still good. I have no question, no like thoughts on if Geno's not going to start because I feel like he will start. But I just think that Geno Smith makes some boneheaded plays here and there that just make you think what is he thinking? But then he makes some really really good plays. So for the Seahawks to be good, they need Gino to play excellent, and he needs to play excellent every game. And I feel like this game against the 49ers, he made a lot of mistakes. And yeah, I mean, he had a touchdown at the end, but for what, you know? And if it
Yeah.
wasn't for that punt return, this game would have been like 36-20. So, I mean,
Hmm.
36-17. So, you never know. But I think the Seahawks, they had an easy schedule to start off. They were in 3-0 to start off the season. And then now, they lost three straight against decent opponents. And yeah, their season's going in a different direction.
Agreed. Agreed. I think once San Francisco gets a little bit more healthy, I think they're going to be fine. Brock Purdy's been doing pretty well. For what the offense is, he's been. I guess that helps. With being weeks in and weeks out, with the solid weapons. I think he's learned a lot from the game, and you know, give credit where credit is due. Brock Purdy's been kind of like doing his best to keep this team afloat, and they're 3-3 right now, which is kind of crazy, for a 49ers team. But I don't think the
Uh,
season's over. I don't think both these teams are seasons over, but
no, 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 no. Like, I think the Niners season is very much alive. Like, they're going to lose to Kansas City next week. I'm just a little spoiler. They're losing to Kansas City next week, but they're going to be 3-4. But I've seen this team have bad starts and make it to the NFC Championship. I have no
Mhm,
problem with the Niners. I think the Niners are going to win the NFC West. Good teams sometimes lose to bad teams, and they've lost to bad teams, but they're still a solid team. I still trust the Niners to play good. I'm
mhm,
not saying I trust Brock Purdy, but I say that this team is really, really good, and they're going to make it. They're going to be either a 1 seed or the 2 seed in the NFC. My problem is this: what you said about the Seahawks. I think their season's cooked. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you look at their schedule, right? They started off really easy opponents. We thought, oh, they're good. Um, but if you really look at it, their schedule gets only harder here. You play the Falcons, you play the Bills. The Rams will be healthy by the time they play them. You play the Niners again, which you can't beat. Cardinals you probably could win, and then you have the Jets. So you have some hard matchups, and then you got to play our NFC North with the Packers, the
mhm,
Vikings, and the Bears. So you have hard matchups coming up for the Seahawks, and I just don't think this team is good enough. And that just again brings me to the question: is Geno Smith the real answer for the Seattle Seahawks? And I'm not saying because Geno Smith's not a good quarterback. I feel like the Seattle is going to a different direction. Their defense is solid. Their wide receiver core is really, really good. I really like their tight end and Noah Fant. I like the running back duo with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. I'm just wondering, is Geno Smith holding back the is he holding back the Seattle Seahawks? Sorry, there's text messages coming through. Um,
It's
but
from the Seattle Seahawks because they're needing people to, replace their injured players. But, you know, yeah, this game was kind of cooked in general, but it became a really fun game. Speaking of fun games for the Bears, and I don't think for the Jags necessarily, but this game was fun. And we kind of went over it in the previous video on the channel where we kind of talked about this game more in depth. If you guys want to check that out, you know, feel free to do so. It's available. But long story short, this game the Bears completely dominated all facets except for maybe the first two drives. Jacksonville just came out flat. Honestly, Trevor Lawrence wasn't necessarily at fault, like too much. He is definitely at fault, but you know, you got to give credit where credit is due. But at the same time, his receivers really dropped the ball on this, literally. Um, when it comes to getting the receptions, but you know the Jaguars are in shambles. I think that they have a lot to really ask themselves because this team was supposed to, with the healthy Trevor Lawrence, pick up from where they left off when they were 8-3. You know, so and then they had free fall since then. So
I think my thing with the Jags is it's not really on Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is like somewhat to blame, but like he's not terrible. Like I think we've seen what Trevor Lawrence can do. when he has a good offense and has a good coach. Um, I think Doug Peterson should be fired. I think he's done. Like, I know Doug Peterson's a Super Bowl winning head coach, but like I don't see an improvement. Trevor Lawrence
Yeah,
has
so is
regressed.
McCarthy. Yeah,
McCarthy
literally.
should be fired too. But we'll get to that
Mhm,
later.
mhm.
I'm just saying I think Doug Peterson should be gone because the Jags right now, if the season ended today, are a top 3 pick right now,
Yeah,
and it's just nuts because and I know I'm overreacting, but it's really been weeks. It's been 6 weeks, so we can technically start reacting to the season, and looking forward to next season. But the Jags have a lot of holes, right? Their defense is not that great. Their offense is not that great. But when I look at the offense of the Jags, I
mhm.
still think they have good weapons. Like they do. They do have good weapons. Like Christian Kirk is a good weapon. I think he'll be traded in the trade deadline. Brian Thomas Jr. I really, really like him. He's a great receiver. Zay Jones. Um, they got a solid tight end in Ingram. Travis Etienne, that fall off is crazy for him. Like it's been but they got Tank Bigsby now. So like I think Trevor Lawrence has the weapons. It just I think either the offensive coordinator is bad and also him, like he's regressed a lot. So and the crazy part for the Jags is that they paid him. That's the crazy part. They paid the man the money. So um yeah, and I'm looking at that Tankathon, whatever that is. Why are
That
the
makes no
Colts
sense.
why are the Colts ahead of why are
I
the
think it's a
Niners?
glitch. I don't think they should be
Yeah.
here. They should be where the
Yeah.
Chargers
Anyway,
are.
anyways, but like Um, but yeah, and I'll also enough with the Jags. I want to talk about the Bears real quick. I've seen like Colin Coward, lot of analysts, and I saw a Green Bay Packers fan also talk about this. They're like, oh, the Bears, like I don't know what to talk, I don't know what to say about them. They haven't played anybody great. Well, here's the thing: if we're really talking about them, why are we talking about the Commanders? Like, why are we talking about the Commanders? Because the Commanders have played bad teams and they've lost to good teams, like the Bears. They played 5 bad teams, won 4 of them, and lost to a good team in Texans, which, by the way, they almost won. So I'm just saying this. If we're going to say the Bears 4-2 record is fraudulent, then we got to say the Commanders record is fraudulent because they have not played anybody good. And if you want to bring in records, the Bengals are not a good team. So, yeah.
I
But
think by playing anybody good is a little bit false for the Commanders, but the thing is, they played people that are good, teams that are good, but
they
they've
lost.
lost to them.
They lost.
Exactly. So that's a little bit of a change.
We've also played against the
Texans.
Colts. The Colts are still they're a 500 team. They're a
Yeah.
500 team. And then
Now they are. Yeah.
we've also played the Texans, who are a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
The Jags have been they lost
And
to they got ransacked by the Bucks, and then they got humbled against the Ravens. So like I'm saying, if we're gonna say if the people are gonna say that the Bears record is fraudulent, and a Packers fan saying that, I don't want to get started with the Packers because they have not played or beaten good teams yet. Then we have to take a good look in the mirror for the Packers and the Commanders because their records are also really bad with bad but beating bad teams. So that's all I gotta say. I don't want to get into a lot about it, but that's my take on that that part.
I mean, they did play. Yeah, they haven't really won against anyone.
The Packers beat the Cardinals. They beat
Rams,
the Rams,
Tennessee, Indianapolis,
Tennessee, and Indianapolis.
and then they lost to Philly and lost to Minnesota.
Yeah. See,
Um,
look at the pattern. They've lost
no,
a
no, no.
good
I get that.
team.
I get that. I'm not.
Like
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm not saying we're Super Bowl. I'm saying we're a playoff contender. I think they're also a playoff contender. I think the Commanders are also a good playoff contender. I'm just saying, like, hold on the brakes of us being a fraudulent team.
No one's
I
saying we're
think
fraudulent. I mean, okay, no one competent in saying that we're fraudulent. It's just that we're making progress. We're doing things that we have to. Um, it is annoying, but
it's not like we're
I
squeaking
just
by, and also it's not like we're
we're
squeaking by
demolishing.
it. We're demolishing the Panthers. And let's be serious. The Panthers almost beat Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happened when he came to Chicago? Andy Dalton got stopped, got trampled, could not do anything.
Mhm.
Jacksonville had its best game against the Colts. Came to London, where they play good. And what happened when they played our team? Got destroyed, got trampled, could not do anything. So all I gotta say is do not sleep on the Bears. They're a good team. The Packers, I'll say this, they're a good team. Commanders are a good team. Why can't we all be good? That's all I want to say to the media. Why can't we all be good? That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say.
it makes
All
no
right.
sense that the Bears are like it's just it just goes back to the principle of the Bears tax right now, and I think they're just trying to shed that because the media, you know, oh, it's just the same old Bears. It's not they're not gonna be anything, special. Same with the Jets. Jets are a laughing stock still, even with Aaron Rodgers, because they continue to do Jets things. In the beginning of the season, Chicago Bears did the same thing. They went their old Bears ways. And the thing is, Shane Waldron at this point has to be consistent. The offense has to be consistently good and improve every week. And, we'll be fine. All right, let's go to more games. Stop talking about the Bears. But before we get into that, I know, let me just do a quick thing about please don't forget to like and subscribe if you made it this far into the video. And let's go on and talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Saints game because this was honestly, what's crazy is that the Saints scored all their points in one quarter, and that was like the third or second quarter. And then they did not score a single point whatsoever. Tampa Bay came up to a hot start, gave the lead back to New Orleans, and then they just went on another run again. Um, Spencer Rattler had a good game for his first game of the season. Had a decent plays actually. Two interceptions, which is fine. It makes sense, but like I think as a whole, Saints are kind of just that Linsanity run in the beginning of the season has kind of come to an end. I think the Saints are just mediocre at best right now. They'll definitely squeak in a bunch of games, but I guess you could chalk it up to being a division game as well, where they had the opportunity to win, but
I just think that
yeah,
the Saints are like, I at some point they're just in a bad situation. Like they're cap hell. They're in cap hell right now, and
mm,
they just have a lot of bad contracts, a lot of old players on that team. So their
yeah, they
defense
need to
is
really
solid.
tank.
Their defense is solid, but like I guess you start Rattler. I mean, I guess you get rid of Carr and you start Rattler for the rest of the season. Maybe tank at this point. You started 2-0. I think your season's over because I just realistically, other than the Panthers, I don't think you're better than any of the other teams in the NFC South. I don't think you're making the playoffs. So you might as well tank at this point. Your team is not that good. Just keep feeding Kamara, I guess. But
Yeah,
like you,
Baker did his thing though. I mean, Baker was fine.
he did throw a lot of interceptions that game, but he did come up for it later. But yeah,
Yeah,
Bucky Irving's been really good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
who's the other
Mike
guy?
Evans, Chris Godwin, been really really good for them. So hey, let them keep cooking. Um,
No, there's
they've been
another running back. I forgot his name for the Buccaneers.
Rashad White.
No, not Rashad White. Alvin Kamara. Sean Tucker. That guy was cooking. 136 yards, one touchdown. He was cooking after Bucky Irving. But yeah, good job for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't even want to talk about this. This game was just. I barely watched this game to be fair because on Red Zone, like,
Yeah, I
what
look.
are
I
the
watched.
Eagles doing?
I
Like,
watched this game. First of all, if you're an Eagles fan, like it's good to win a game in the NFL. It just is. Like no matter what the score is, at the end of the day, you want to get the W. You got the W. But should you feel good about this win? No, I really don't because it's like if you want to win the division, which I still think you guys are going to win the division. I know in the start of the year I had the Cowboys winning. We're gonna get to that later in the video. But I think the Eagles right now are the best team to win the division, and the reason why is because I trust Jalen Hurts, I trust AJ Brown, and I trust the Eagles team with Saquon Barkley and stuff to win them the division. But it's not really making my case after watching this game because You almost let the Browns win. And if Deshaun Watson had a brain cell and actually was decent, you guys would have lost this game. So, um, I don't know. I genuinely think that the Eagles are going to make the playoffs, but they got to make something switch. Something's got to switch. Like something's got to happen because if they keep this route, Sirianni will be fired, and they might not even make the playoffs because the Commanders are really good. NFC North's really good. The Falcons, Buccaneers are really good. The NFC just got better, I feel like. And here's a hot take. I think NFC is better than the AFC right now.
That's a hot take.
Because I remember I sent you I sent you a text with teams from the AFC and NFC. I had to think because I made like my final standings for the rest of the year. Yeah. I had to think like who would make the playoffs, who would not. And I feel like I made a top 7. I made a top 7. What's it called? Top 7 playoffs, right? For like 7 teams to make the playoffs. And in the NFC, I felt like I kept on missing out some teams. Like there's some teams you could argue, oh, they got a chance. I remember I had the Commanders out of the playoffs, because I had the whole NFC North making the playoffs. So there's so many teams in the NFC I feel like that could make the playoffs, and the wildcard hunt is going to be really, really interesting for the NFC this year. So if the Eagles do not start playing good, they're going to be cooked. But now let me talk about the Browns real quick, and then I'll let you talk. The Browns, I feel like, is it time? Like, is it just me? Is it time to bench Deshaun Watson? I know you paid him so much money. You gave him the worst contract in history. But at some point, do you have to just cut your losses and just do what's best for the team and the players around you? Because I feel like Deshaun Watson doesn't give you a chance to win. And for the players' sake, I just don't see them winning a single game anymore unless like the team sucks, like, or unless they play like maybe the Panthers or something. Like they're not winning a single game, and they might win maybe 2 games a season. You really want to keep Deshaun Watson, or what you could do is go get Jameis Winston, and maybe change the culture around this organization because Deshaun Watson's not it. He's still yet to break 200 yards passing. He's just been awful. Like, he's been terrible. I cannot say that any less. He's been terrible. And if the Browns have any compassion to their fans, anything to make the organization better, they would bench Deshaun Watson right now and start Jameis Winston. And I'm not saying Jameis Winston is going to save this franchise and they're going to go to the Super Bowl and win it. But I feel like you have a better chance winning with Jameis Winston than with Deshaun Watson. That is a whole true fact of the life right there. I think Deshaun Watson's cooked. He's a backup. And I would like to say I'm sorry for him, but I'm really not. But yeah.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the Brown situation. Where do I even start? Because
worst situation in football. That's all I gotta say.
I think that the Cleveland Browns, I think this might be a little bit of a controversial take. I think they're in the similar situation where the Jags, not contract-wise, I'm talking about, well, I guess you can make an argument about Trevor Lawrence's contract, but it's definitely not as bad as the Deshaun Watson contract. The issue with the Browns is that they could be sellers. They could probably chalk up the season. They could probably be sellers at the deadline. I'm being completely honest. Because even if you bring in Jameis Winston, what makes you think that Jameis Winston is going to take this roster? And because originally, last year, they were a playoff team without Deshaun Watson.
But here's the thing. Sorry, finish your take.
So with Deshaun Watson, last year it was Joe Flacco. They got rid of Flacco, and they're struggling now. So unless Deshaun Watson gets hurt, that's the only way. Because logically, or like not logically, from the perspective of the GM right now, their GM, the GM doesn't want to show weakness for some reason. Like, and this is benching Deshaun Watson is a sign of weakness. For they want to prove that they essentially made the right decision or whatever. But it just I don't see the benching happening unless or any backup quarterback happen until Deshaun gets hurt, which could be very likely because it's
No,
Deshaun
no, no,
nowadays.
no.
He's very brittle, but
Okay,
I think that they could be very much sellers this time around. I think the more team morale is going to be at an all time low. It probably is at an all time low since they're 1-5, being a playoff team last year. But I mean, that means people like I don't think Miles Garrett is on the market because I
but
think
you're proving my point right now, though. You said that the Browns are a good team. They were a playoff team without Deshaun Watson.
right.
If the Browns are serious in trying to make the playoffs or
But they're
trying
going
to
to be
make
first round exits though. They if anything, they
it, does,
barely will
it,
sneak in and be first round exits.
it doesn't
Does
matter.
that really help? Then what? Then if okay, for let me give you an example.
You're gonna draft
Say
a
Jameis
quarterback.
Winston. No, 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 no. Listen. Say Jameis Winston comes in, just pulls a Flacco again, like pulls a Flacco, takes them to the playoffs, but then they check out and then they lose the first game in the wild card. What is the next move? Are you going to pay Jameis Winston now? Are you going to keep running through the same cycle where you bring in Deshaun Watson? You hate how he plays every time. You go and think about your backup. Your coach
I
is
just,
like,
I just,
there's so
I
much
just,
things that you have to think about.
you gotta. Okay, here's the
Legitimately.
thing. Does Deshaun Watson? Okay, like here's my thing with Deshaun Watson is, does he give you a chance to win? Like, does he genuinely give you a chance to win a game?
No,
When
he does
you when
not.
you when the Cleveland Brown sorry blah when the Cleveland Browns walk onto the field, do they have and Browns fans think they're going to win a football game with Deshaun Watson as your quarterback? And so far, it's been a no. It's been a big no. And you need to change something. You're 1-5. This quarterback class is not good. I think Browns fans are tired of they're sick and tired of drafting quarterbacks. They did that with Baker Mayfield. And I don't know why they did not stick with them, but they traded Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson. It's been an abject failure. I think it's time. This Browns team is talented. That's my thing. This Browns team is talented. They just need a quarterback. And if Jameis Winston is that guy, was Joe Flacco, we didn't think was the guy, but he became the guy for that year. If he can be the guy, Browns fans will be very happy. The Browns organization will be a lot better, and they have a chance to make the playoffs. I understand their division's a lot hard, but the Bengals are struggling. The Steelers are looking all right. The Ravens are the best team, but they still have a chance to make the playoffs. And I've said this for a long time. Dolphins are injured. They don't got Tua. Jets are. We don't know how good they're gonna be. The AFC South looks terrible. Make the decision to bench Deshaun Watson and save the season. Unless the Browns want to tank, keep Watson. But if you want to change something with the season and start winning football games, get rid of Watson, man. I mean, now you can't get rid of him, but bench him. Make a culture change. You saw the Raiders. The Raiders changed to Aiden O'Connell. We know he's not good, but they did a change, and Gardner Minshew is better than Deshaun Watson. If Gardner Minshew can be benched, Deshaun Watson can be benched. That's all I gotta say. If the Browns want to have a chance to contend or be a decent team, not contend, but a decent team this year, you got to make the change. It's
I
a
don't know.
culture
I
thing.
think I
Kevin
think that they're
Stefanski's job is on the line. It's starting to get onto the line. You got to make a change. It's just, you can't keep on rotting with Deshaun Watson. It's just
I,
not, the players are going to get upset. Fans are going to get upset. People are going to lose hope. The culture will be terrible if you keep Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. He is washed. Sad to say, Prime Watson was crazy. Browns Watson's been terrible.
I mean, listen, I don't think they're gonna do any of that in the first place because Cleveland is just gonna be, or like at least the organized front office is just trying to make things work. Um, yes, I agree that it's gonna be a culture.
How can you make it work with a broken toy?
They
You just
they're
can't.
not going to. They're gonna do it until Deshaun gets hurt. That's the only way that because they're
But
gonna try to
what if
get
he
the
doesn't get
money.
hurt?
The
What if he doesn't
money's
get
worth,
hurt? What if he
huh?
get okay? What if he doesn't get hurt and the Browns get the number 1 pick this season?
They're not getting a. They're gonna probably take a chance on a quarterback. I'm gonna be really honest with you because they
Okay, so Shador Sanders, you know what Deion Sanders says. If the situation's not right, he's not going to that team. Shador's
and
not
that's
going
the
there.
next quarterback.
Like
There's the
I
next
just
quarterback.
do you really think that okay, I'm sorry, this class is not that good.
It may
I,
not be that good, but they have no choice. Quarterbacks still get drafted, even in this.
I guess,
Even
I
if
guess.
the quarterback
Yeah,
draft is
I genuinely think that Jameis Winston changes this team. I really
sure,
believe
it
that.
could change the team, but then you're just wasting an opportunity to win. This was a Super Bowl caliber team, but Jameis Winston's not winning it with damn Super Bowl. Okay, like let's be really honest with ourselves. Joe Flacco was barely even able to win a Super Bowl with this team because dude checked out at a half against the Houston Texans. You could say
But
the
that was
Houston Texans are a better team, but at the same time, this team, the quarterback situation, even if you have backups in, it won't help you win a Super Bowl. So listen, at the end of the day, I think they're sellers at the end of by when it's all said and done. By the trade deadline on November 5th, they're gonna be sellers. And I think they're just gonna chalk up the season and ride it
no.
with
Okay, okay.
Boston.
If you're sellers, and you can bench Watson, Jameis Winston's not going to win games. At least put him
Maybe,
in. Put
maybe.
something for the fans to cheer about. That's all I ask, man. For the Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even a Browns fan, bro. But like,
Nah, the Browns are just a bunch of
so
bozos, so it doesn't really matter. All right, this is a pretty fun game, to be really honest. It was the Commanders, Baltimore. Baltimore did their thing. Derrick Henry's a monster. Lamar Jackson had a great passing performance this game. He's been really good as a passer. I'll be really honest. Like he's been doing really well. Baltimore Ravens are 4-2. Commanders, listen, Jaden Daniels also did really well. Like a lot of the passes he's made, like are really really good. Tight window throws, a little bit of stuff with anticipation. Like there, he's been really schemed well, and I think they gave Baltimore a little bit of a sweat this game. And yes, they obviously lost, but that's because they're a young team. I think if they invest their cap space next season, and their draft with defense and some weapons, they're going to be a really big team next year. So Ravens are, Super Bowl contenders right now, and they look pretty solid with Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry's kind of unlocked or helped unlock Lamar's passing game a lot because Lamar doesn't really have to necessarily worry about running all the time and can focus on passing as well. So,
yeah,
I like it. Both these teams are kind of doing their own thing, and I kind of enjoyed this game a lot.
I I agree with you. I think I don't really have much to say about this game. I mean, it was a great game. Lamar Jackson has been great. Right now, he's the front runner in my opinion to win MVP. Sadly, but he's been great. He's been really good. I gotta be objective here, but yeah, again, Jaden Daniels also had a really good game, so I can't really say anything about that. Like Jaden's been good. Still got Caleb over him. Just saying, but Jaden's been
I
really,
don't
really
think yet.
good.
I don't think yet. As much as I want to say Caleb, I
Nah,
don't think
dude.
he's
If
there
you
yet.
if you haven't
I
passed for
think
300, he hasn't passed
I'm
for
sorry.
300
No, no,
yards.
no. I know. I get that. I get that. Don't get me wrong. I get that. But right now, Caleb, because what will
He has
ding
6
Caleb?
touchdowns
I get
in
that.
6 games.
I get that. I understand that. I'm just saying it's getting close. Like the gap is narrowing now.
Nah, Caleb's
Jaden's
better.
right
I'm
here.
sorry. Sorry.
Caleb is right here.
There's a reason why Jaden Daniels was the number 2 quarterback in the class. No one would ever take Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make this about Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is better than Jaden Daniels. It's not even close. This narrative is over. After that London game, it was over. But anyways,
No, I don't
going
think
to this.
so. I think it will only be over after.
Okay. Week 8, when Caleb Williams smacks when Caleb Williams smacks Jaden Daniels, it's over. All right, the debate is
All right,
over. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. But Jaden
if
Daniels, he played good.
listen,
He
the
played
only way
solid.
Caleb can win, in my opinion, listen, I
Dude,
want Caleb to
Commanders
win
are
Rookie of the
not
Year.
good. Like, I'm sorry, they're not
They're
good.
not good defensively, but offensively they're been pretty solid. But
Okay.
I think
When
listen,
they
the
play
only
our
way
defense,
I think
it's over.
fine, we'll get there, okay? When that happens, it happens. I'm saying Jaden is doing good, Caleb is doing his great thing a lot, but um it's just that whoever wins that matchup, I think will have the edge over the other to win a
Oh,
Rookie of the Year.
okay,
Like
yes. Caleb can have it.
am I wrong? Because listen, the media is gonna definitely look into that
I don't
game.
care what the media thinks.
It doesn't
This is my
matter.
this is
The
my
Rookie of the
opinion.
Year will go to whoever wins that
Yeah, I
game
know.
because
I'm
if
saying
both of them end up doing well or equally well, they're gonna say, "Okay, who won that matchup?
I don't
Who won
think they're
that matchup?"
equal. I don't think they're equally doing well.
Listen, Caleb Williams right now has had a rough start in the first 3 weeks.
How is having 363 yards a rough start?
No, I'm not saying that it's a rough start. I'm talking about the first two outings. Listen, as a passer, as like you have to be
Wait, hold
objective
on.
here. You have
Hold
to
on,
be
wait.
objective here.
Let's see Jaden Daniels first two starts, man.
Listen, you have to be objective. As much as I really want
all
it to
right.
be true, that,
Jaden
but like,
Daniels first. Wait, hold on. Jaden Daniels first two starts, right? We're gonna talk about that, right? He had 0 touchdowns in both games.
so did
He didn't
Caleb.
score up. He didn't. He won a game against the Giants. The Giants are trash. He won a game against the Giants with scoring 0 touchdowns. 0
Well,
touchdowns.
he did
Again,
score rushing touchdowns.
no, he didn't. He didn't score a rushing touchdown that game. The Commanders won with 7 field goals. That game, I remember that game.
Oh, that game. Okay,
And
okay.
then against the Bucks, he was atrocious. Like, he was not good. All right,
Right,
so Jaden
fine.
Daniels has not been a good quarterback until the Bengals game. He was not a good quarterback. So, and when did Caleb Williams start clicking? The Colts game, and in the second half, he started clicking. I'm saying it's not been close. Caleb has been better. It's just the media is gonna glaze him because he's not on the Bears. That's all I gotta say. He played good. I like Jaden Daniels as a person. He's a pretty good quarterback. He's gonna do fine in Washington. But to say that he is the better quarterback now is crazy to me.
I'm not
Caleb
saying he's
Williams,
a better quarterback. I'm just saying right now the media has him in a good light,
I don't
and
care. The
it
question
doesn't
wasn't
matter what you care. Like
no
it generally
no no
doesn't
no no no
because
no no no.
because the media is gonna do it.
The question was not the media. I never brought in the media. I said who is the better quarterback right now, and that is Caleb Williams.
It's Caleb is better. I agree, but I'm just saying, like right now, that's just the situation. But anyways, we're getting off track.
I don't understand how losing to the Ravens makes him better, according to the media.
But it was a closer game.
Closer.
Like 23, they had a chance to win too. Well, you can make the argument, I guess, for
the Bears.
The Texans game.
Okay. With that defense. Okay. First of all, if the Baltimore Ravens are allowing the Commanders to score 23 points, the Ravens suck on defense. I'll just say this right now, because all you have to do against the Commanders is lock up Terry McLaurin and just put 2 on Terry McLaurin. The crazy part is Terry McLaurin went off. I'm just saying this. I'm not trying to hate on Jaden Daniels. I think he's a good player. It's just I don't think he's better than Caleb. That's all. But let's just end this right here. But I think that's my opinion on it. But yeah. Let's talk about the next game.
But yeah, I mean, this was a good game. Packers, there's really not much to say. They completely dog walked the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals just came out flat. Yeah.
Really I mean, look, Jordan Love played good. I mean, Marvin got hurt. Yeah, I thought he had 3. But yeah, he looked good. Packers look good. Their NFC North's going to be the best division in football.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyways, yeah. Colts, Tennessee Titans.
There's one word. Will Levis is just a train wreck, man. Like 92 yards, and he kind of returned the favor like Caleb did. But he just played bad, and like I don't know, Titans are just a train wreck. That team looks so talented going into the season, and it just does not look good for them.
I mean, the Colts right now are kind of in a unique situation.
You got to bench Will Levis too, I think.
No. I think the Colts have to still evaluate our AR. He was supposed to play last game, but he wasn't fully healthy. And it was against the Titans, so they decided, you know what, screw it, we'll just sit you because it's not really worth it. Um, but yeah, I guess they still have to evaluate AR and see what they have. Because Joe Flacco is good and all, but he's not a long term answer in a sense for this team. And the way Shane Steichen, right, like it works with Kevin Stefanski, but for the Colts, it's kind of a little bit different when it comes to Shane Steichen's play calling. Joe Flacco is very, you know, how do I say this? It's like very impromptu or like on the move, on the go kind of decision making. But they have to really see what they have with AR, dude, because this is year two. They barely played the first year, and let alone the second year. So they probably have to play him at some point. And then if he's bad, then put in Joe Flacco for the rest of the year. But yeah, Drake May.
He looked decent. I mean, he had 3 turnovers, but he also had 3 touchdowns. So
Two
it
of them
was it
was not
was.
really his fault though. Like it was just unfortunate. Like, but yeah, I mean, listen, the fact that he had 3 touchdowns in his first debut start, and I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. Like I thought he was gonna get sacked every single time he had a chance. Like he did pretty good. Like in terms of getting the ball out, making deep ball plays. That kind of questions a lot about the Houston Texans defense a little bit, but I'm
I mean, here's the thing: you only allow them to score 21. You're sometimes offenses are going to score 21, but I think the Texans are still a good team. And CJ Stroud played really, really well. He did have one interception, which was bad in the end zone, but Texans are going to be good. I expect Nico Collins to be back after the injury reserve. I think he'll be back week 10. Texans are going to be a very scary team, and the Patriots just try to develop Drake May, tank, maybe go get Travis Hunter or a defensive lineman or offensive lineman. I mean, there's so many avenues you can go with the Patriots. Um, but yeah, I think the Patriots maybe get Ashton Janty. I don't know, but Patriots are. I feel like are in a good situation a little bit. I mean, in a situation where like they can tank and have Drake May develop. I think that's the best situation for them.
mm-hmm. I see what you mean. But yeah, I mean, Texans, they're still pretty good. It just, they're kind of having some shaky games a little bit, but they're still
I
winning
mean,
games. So
they won by 20, so I feel like that's still good.
yeah, I agree. I agree. They did win by a lot. And CJ Stroud's doing his thing. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything. I'm just saying that some of the games have been pretty shaky a little bit. Not completely dominant, but, you know, the Steelers, it was a little bit rough in the beginning, but then Steelers just took it.
I want to ask you a question here because I actually I wanted to start off with this, but I was wondering there's a lot of talk now because Russell Wilson is back. He was the backup for this game,
Mhm.
and I would say this Fields this game he didn't play the best. He missed some throws. Um, he I don't he made some. He was throwing. He could have thrown 2 interceptions if the play was right for the defense, but he did have 2 rushing touchdowns. He made some plays with his legs. He did throw some good throws. But my question to you is: do you for Sunday Night Football? Do you test out Russell Wilson, or do you think nah, just feed the hot hand? And they did score 32 points. Credit to the defense, but do you think if you're the Steelers, be honest? Do you I want to know? Do you think they test out Russell Wilson, or do you think they keep Justin? I mean, they stick with Justin Fields as the quarterback one.
I think they I think they switched to Russell Wilson only if hmm, it's kind of tough because Justin has won 4 games out of the 6, but the defense as well has been pretty important. But hmm, I think the current thing that's been going around about the situation is if Justin plays bad, like really bad one game, put in Russell Wilson. Like, you know how like when quarterbacks, like your starting quarterback literally throws like like three interceptions or like has a really awful game, and then they put in like the backup just because you don't want to further like diminish the confidence of your starter. I think it would have to be like that, and then that gives you the opportunity to see what you have with Russell Wilson
Mhm.
and see if he can give that spark for this offense and kind of keep your playoff hopes alive. But in this case, Justin's been healthy. Justin's been doing enough to scrape by, being the starter. I'm gonna be really honest. Like, I'm not really that impressed. Like how I was in the beginning. In the beginning, I was a little bit impressed because he was actually able to win with passing and stuff. But he has 5 passing touchdowns for 5 rushing touchdowns. So I'm not really necessarily like
He's
like
accounted for 10 of the 11 touchdowns for the Steelers, by the way.
okay, that's cool. That's cool and all. Like, good for him. But I feel like I'm just seeing the same Justin Fields like I did in Chicago. It's not any different. The same drop back, same decision making. Like, I mean, it's not like terrible. There's a lot of quarterbacks that play terrible or have bad decision making. I'm not saying Justin is very bad. He needs to really be developed. I think he's just going back to his old habits, and it's not really helping because the scheme is also not really helping that as well. It was not his fault, but
I think the Steelers, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, he's not playing the best. I'll admit he's not. But I think what Justin Fields is doing right now is not turning over the football, right? But I feel like in the Raiders game, he did throw some questionable passes.
he even threw some questionable passes when it was the Cowboys game. Some
So yeah, I
reason
mean,
it just wasn't picked.
I just realized, like, okay, look, that's a what if. It didn't get picked. Fumbles, he's recovered all his fumbles except for that one against the Colts. Here's my thing with Justin Fields, man. I think the big question is can you win like big games with him, right? And I want to see that. Like, that's my thing with Justin Fields is like, okay, he can beat the bad teams, right? He can. He'll play good against the bad team. We see how in Chicago, he beat the bad teams, played good against the bad teams, and won. He played against quarterbacks that are not better than him. I think his
The only
best
good
victory,
team
he's
I
beating
could
Chargers
say, the only good teams he's beaten so far are Atlanta,
on the Chargers.
Chargers.
I think the Broncos are decent.
He lost to Dallas, which is a pretty bad loss, to be honest. And looking back now,
But I
because
feel like again, I know he didn't
compared to
play
the
the best.
Jets, I mean, compared to the Lions,
I know
dude,
he didn't
like
play. I know he didn't play the best against the Cowboys, but he drove the ball down the field and scored a touchdown.
so. I'm talking about the
And
whole
it
game.
and it was about the defense at the end. Could the defense help Justin Fields win the game? They didn't. So my thing
Right.
is he's been all right for the Steelers. I really want to see this Jets game on prime time. Okay, here's how I think Justin Fields locks the job. And I know I've been saying this for so many weeks. He needs. Okay, I'm not even saying for him to throw for 300 yards. I think it's just he's not a quarterback where he's going to consistently throw for 300 yards, which is completely fine. Like, he's not that guy. He's not that guy who is going to consistently throw 300 yards and put your team on his back with passing. He's a running and passing quarterback. Sorry for all the messages, but
Put it on silent.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that. But anyways, I think Justin Fields against the Jets. I really want the Jets are a really good defense. I want to see what he does against a good defense, and I want him to not put the ball in harm's way. Complete good, have some good pocket presence, and use your legs when you need to, and be very efficient in the red zone. I think in the red zone he's been very efficient with his legs. I want to see it with his arm, right? And I
That's
feel
the
like if he
thing.
has a good complete game with his arm and with his legs, the Russell Wilson and Justin Fields argument will be over, and Justin Fields will be the starter for the rest of the season, going against the Giants and going into the bye week. If Justin Fields does not do that, being a Justin Fields fan, I really believe that Russell Wilson will start against the Giants and going into the bye week against the Washington Commanders, the Ravens, in the games after. So Justin Fields, this is your moment when the lights are at the brightest. Can you deliver for the Pittsburgh Steelers? But good news for the Steelers, real quick, and we'll go to the other games. Is they're gonna get Alex Highsmith back. They're gonna get Nick Herbig back. They're gonna get a lot of their defenders back. So that's gonna be good for them. But I want to see what Justin Fields can do against a good defense on prime time when the lights are shining at its brightest. But yeah,
I think a little bit of a soliloquy, I guess, for Justin. I guess after seeing Caleb, like doing the things he does right now,
I'll say this: Caleb's already better, and I'm a
I
Justin
know.
Fields fan. He's already better.
I'm
He's
just,
already
that's
better.
the issue. That's the issue I have with Justin, because I think it's part of me. I think it's starting to become the majority of me now feels this. I think the ship has sailed. I think in year 4, the fact that he's doing the same things again and
So
again
you
and
think he's a
again.
bust?
No, it's not a bust. How can it be a bust? A bust is like truly like awful, completely awful. Like he's not good. Like he has flashes. He's
What do you mean?
okay.
What do you mean by his ship has sailed?
Like
Like being a
if
starter?
his no. From being like an elite talent, like arm talent wise and all that. Like you saw the games, like his pocket presence is very shoddy. Like and his like footwork is off. Like or like he's going back to his old habits still in year 4. Like I know it's early. You could even make an argument it's early, but there's nothing that I could be wrong too down the line. Like I could be very wrong, and I hope
No,
I
I'm not
am.
going that far. I'm not going that far. I know
But
Caleb's better, but like Justin Fields just still has a really good talent, and I feel like
he
if
has
he's
talent
developed,
with his legs. Like I feel like his
no,
legs
he
are
has
what's
he has
saving
arm.
him.
No, he has arm talent. Like, we
His
know.
arm talent is like his deep ball and like I would say
I'll say
his
this: Justin Fields has a
ability to
better
read
deep.
the field. I think his listen. The one thing that's going to eventually make Justin Fields unsuccessful is his ability to have good pocket presence and be able
You
to
mean
read a defense.
successful? No. Here's the thing: Justin Fields has a better deep ball than Caleb. I'll just say that right now. He does have a better deep ball. It's his like intermediate like routes that he needs to get better at. Um, the thing
That's
with it
more
irks,
important in my
no,
opinion.
the thing
I
that
think
irks me
this.
real quick. No, real quick. The thing that irks me with Justin Fields is he'll see a guy wide open, and it's just like he doesn't trust himself. Like I don't understand. He doesn't like he will have the ball. He's about to throw it, and he's like Pickens or Calvin Austin's wide open, and he just doesn't trust himself, and that's what I just don't understand. Hopefully, Arthur Smith can.
That's the habit I'm talking about. Like he's so used to the tuck and run or like first read and then move out.
But
Like that's
I think we talked about this a lot, but I'm just saying this. I think he'll be good. I'm really hoping he's good, because he's my favorite player. Um, but I don't think the ship has sailed. That's all I gotta say. But yeah,
yeah. I hope not, but I just don't think. I don't know. I feel like it's too far gone at this point. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe he has a game where things start to click, and if he does, that's awesome. Like genuinely awesome. But seeing what Caleb is doing, like it just makes you think. Like, dang, it's been 4 years, man. Like it's been 4 years. Like at this point, so like it's nearly like like a tired time in
all right.
college or a time.
Let's revisit this after next week, bro.
All right.
I promise you, he's gonna have a good game.
Chargers,
Trust me.
Broncos. It was a pretty weird game. Harbaugh had to
No,
like step away.
no way you picked. Oh, I'm sorry, but no way you picked the Panthers. But anyways,
I
Chargers,
told you it
Broncos.
was. I felt like it was a trap game, but it was looking like one a little bit. But for like 5 seconds, it looked like a trap game.
One second. Chargers, Broncos. I think it was a solid game for the Chargers. I wish the Broncos won it, but
Broncos were
Chargers.
close.
I mean, Chargers just are a good team. They're good. They're just they're a team that's going to beat bad teams, but look inferior against good teams. That's all I gotta say. But the Chargers. I mean, Herbert's okay. I mean, he doesn't have any weapons, so that's all
No,
I got.
Quentin Johnson's alright, but everyone just kept getting hurt. Like
Yeah.
everyone was just like on the sidelines and stuff.
Panthers Falcons though. Panthers
It was
Falcons was a
good.
very It was a decent game. I mean,
Bijan
Panthers. I
popped
mean,
off.
yeah, right when I trade him, but
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. It's against the Panthers. I feel like he's gonna go down after. But I'm excited to see this. How the Falcons respond after this big victory. You know, they lost against the no, wait, they beat the Bucks, so they've actually are a 2-game win streak. I think they're going to win
They're
the
four.
division. They're going to win the division. But yeah, let's talk
No,
about
the
the next game.
wait, the Bucks are also 4-2. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but they had the tiebreaker.
But it doesn't matter. The Bucks are just a better team. I feel. I think the Bucks are a better team.
Not true. I mean, I think the Falcons are better defensively
I
with
don't know.
Jesse
I mean,
Bates.
defensively, yeah, but like I just think offensively and like
And I
talent wise,
trust. I don't know. Baker's good. I don't know.
I trust Baker way more than Kirk, honestly. But
we'll see. We'll
anyway,
see.
that's
We'll
just
see.
me.
Okay.
Panthers just suck. But anyways, I just need to tell that. But
This game, I can't believe.
Lions,
I can't believe I actually picked the Cowboys. Oh,
Cowboys are.
trash.
That's all I'm gonna say. On Jerry's birthday,
Wait, hold on. We'll come back to this game. Like, let's talk about the other games before we because I want to talk about it more. Okay,
I mean, right
Bengals
now,
Giants. Bengals Giants. Well, this game's very close. Actually, it's 20-20. Tyler Bass is
yeah.
about to kick a field goal, but Cincinnati Bengals versus Giants.
Oh, no, he didn't. Oh,
He made it.
Okay.
Okay, so
He made it.
23-20 Bills. Maybe Rodgers has a game-winning drive, but anyways, Bengals Giants. I think Joe Burrow played good, but he didn't play amazing. But the Bengals, I don't think after this game, I felt like, oh, the Bengals are back. Like they're still not a good team. They got to get better. They're defensively, they held the Giants to 7, but it's the Giants.
Yeah,
It's the Giants. That's all I gotta
exactly.
say. Okay,
Yeah.
now let's go back to this game. Okay, real quick, and then I'll let you talk. All right, this game was very, very disappointing. I got David, regular on the podcast. We watched the game together, and let's just say it was not a fun experience. I mean, look, I wanted the Cowboys to win because screw the Lions. They're in our division. Want them to lose. But after this game, man, I'll say this: Lions are the best team in the NFC. Now, I don't know if they're going to be the best team because now they lost Aiden Hutchinson this game, so it's believed that season ending. So
It is season ending.
It's season ending, so it's really bad. But I'll say this: they got their revenge. Cowboys are shambles. Dak Prescott just got paid $60 million. I'm not saying everything's on Dak Prescott, but it's just
really
not
say it
looking.
is.
It's
Dude
not really.
just kept throwing interception after interception after interception.
He throws like 2 weeks in a row in the red zone. He's throwing 2 boneheaded picks, and look, the receivers are not helping him at all. Maybe when Brandon Cooks comes back, it's a little better. But even with Brandon Cooks, the team was really bad. Even with Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, it was not really good. So if I'm Jerry Jones, man, you got to look at the hard look in the mirror and see what you really got. I generally think if the Cowboys want to be good, and it's gonna be crazy for me to say, you gotta trade Micah Parsons to get some draft equity back. Because I just don't think that you pay Micah Parsons, you're gonna make this team better. This team's gonna be always mid, always underperforming, only beating tomato cans, like really bad teams. But then when it comes to playing good teams at home or at away, you're gonna lose. You're gonna keep losing in the playoffs. I don't even know if they're gonna make the playoffs. Like, there's just so many questions with this Dallas Cowboys team. They can run the football. They can't pass the football. They can't defend the run. They can't defend the pass. They can't do anything right. And now it raised me to the question, does Mike McCarthy deserve to get fired before the bye week? Because you're not beating the Niners, right? You're not beating the Niners. You're not beating the Eagles at this rate. The Giants might have a chance against you. I mean, I guess the only team you're beating
the
the division.
Giants. I think the one time when are they playing? Hold on, let me check the Cowboys schedule real quick.
Like, you're not beating the Texans. You're not beating like any good team.
Their next games are San Francisco, Atlanta, Philly, Houston, Washington.
I see 4 losses right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I see 5 losses right there. I think Washington is better than them.
I'm gonna be real. If they lose to Philly, I think that's when he gets fired. It's kind of crazy. But I think also another part of me feels that they're sellers. They're gonna sell at the trade deadline. I think that if they lose, okay. Actually, no. Hold on. Before you get to, if they lose to San Francisco and lose to Atlanta,
No,
because
it's when they lose because they're gonna lose to San Francisco. It's not even.
okay,
It's
okay.
not if.
But I'm just saying when they lose to both those teams, they will be selling because there's no way in your mind
No, the
that
trade
you are
deadline.
a
That
3-5
no.
team.
Wait, hold on. Trade deadline happens at the week 8.
Yeah, we can. It's literally November 3rd.
Yeah. So after the Niners game, you're
Yeah,
selling. So you
yeah,
lose next
exactly.
week. You're saying they're selling.
Yeah, Zach
I don't
Martin,
see.
you
I
are
don't.
a Chicago Bear, or
No, I don't
Micah
want. I don't want.
Parsons, you are a Chicago Bear.
I don't think they
Um,
trade. No. I don't think they trade Micah this season. Like they trade him maybe in the offseason, but
yeah,
look,
Micah's hurt, so I don't think
I'm
they're
just
trading
telling you
him.
right now, Jerry's just gonna pay Micah, but I don't think he should. It's not
If
because
I'm
Micah's
Micah,
bad.
I'm looking at the situation. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, there's no point. This
I
team
know
has no
Mike. I'm
future. There's
literally.
literally no future. You're just paying money to a quarterback, and you're paying money to a wide receiver, like big money, and you don't have
I
any
think.
run game. You don't have any
I,
offense.
I think paying Dak. Like I don't think Dak's a bad quarterback, but paying Dak this early and not making him earn his contract might have been the biggest fumble ever for Jerry Jones. Getting pressured
No,
by
I
the
mean,
fans.
I think Dak deserved it in a sense where that he had two
Oh yeah,
back to back 12
real quick,
fumble.
Aaron Rodgers just fumbled. But anyways,
Good.
complete your thing.
Now like I'm gonna be real, like this Cowboys team really Jerry Jones is a stubborn man. Okay, get that really clear. He's not gonna listen to what the media says. He's gonna do things in his own accord. So if anything, he's not gonna listen to me. He's not gonna listen to you. He's just gonna do whatever Jerry Jones thinks
I mean,
is right.
who
And
cares?
Jerry
Like
Jones, what
honestly,
Jerry Jones thinks is right is that pay whoever. This team is gonna win. They're all in, all in. They're all in, guys. They're all in. They have Zeke at the back. They have Tolbert. They have a bunch of Mickey Mouse players on their roster as some semblance of an offense when you're facing against the Detroit Lions, who are by far well coached. You also have a defensive
never mind. It was not.
coordinator,
It
Mike
wasn't a.
Zimmer.
It wasn't a fumble.
Oh dang! But listen, you have Mike Zimmer as your defensive coordinator after replacing
Yeah,
Dan Quinn. You have Mike McCarthy still calling plays, who is like absolutely not it because he's still riding off of that one Super Bowl win that happened about 10 plus years ago, and you're thinking that you're in. You're all in after paying your quarterback, which is good. Fine. All right. That makes sense because a lot of teams played. You pay your wide receiver. Fine. Makes sense. Personally, I would have paid Mike McCarthy. Sorry, not Mike McCarthy. I would never pay Mike McCarthy, but I would pay Micah Parsons because he's your premier edge rusher, and that's way more valuable. Pay your wide receiver, and then draft a quarterback next. Make Dak earn that contract.
but like I told you from the start, they were in purgatory, man. They were in
They're
purgatory.
always going to be.
Trey,
You're going to be in
Trey
12-5.
I feel
And
like
then
no, but listen. I feel like Trey Lance was the biggest problem. Like I feel like he played really bad in the preseason. I know it's crazy for me to say it, but really
no,
bad.
they didn't care about Trey Lance. To be really honest with
I feel
you,
like
they
he could have
just
been the
kept him as
future for
third
them.
string.
He could have been the future
Trey,
for them.
no, Trey Lance was never, dude. They just took a chance on
They
a.
traded a 4th-round pick for him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about a fourth. That's crazy. That they gave a fourth
And
round for.
guess what? The Steelers traded a 6th-round pick for Justin Fields, and that's working out for them. I'm just saying they traded a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance, and it didn't work out.
Trey Lance.
And guess what? They had to go. They had to go pay Dak Prescott. I'm just saying this right now for the Detroit Lions, for the Dallas Cowboys. They need to look themselves in the mirror and say, "What are they? They don't have an identity. They don't have an identity. They want to be mid after mid after mid after mid. They're never going to win a Super Bowl if they keep on having these problems with the coaching staff. Mike McCarthy should have been fired last year. It's a joke. Jerry Jones is a joke for keeping him. I don't care that Jerry Jones is so successful as a GM after all those championships he had in the 90s. I don't care. He's a billionaire. I don't care about how he owns the Cowboys. You are a joke when it comes to keeping Mike McCarthy. Okay, fine. Go pay Dak. He's an all pro. He had a good season last year. Go pay CD. I don't care about that. But keeping Mike McCarthy when you had Bill Belichick there in your disposal is nuts. It's terrible GM malpractice, and it just needs to be studied. And I think on Jerry's birthday, he honestly deserved it. It's
Hmm.
sad to have this, but you deserve it, man. You kept Mike McCarthy after Jordan Love, the youngest team in NFL, went into your house and destroyed you. And
And ever since then, not one in.
you had the guts to keep Mike McCarthy as your coach. The joke of a coach he is in the playoffs. No, no, no. I was saying this that he should have been fired after this game. And the crazy thing is he's not been fired. Jerry Jones said in the interview that he's not going to be fired. Jerry Jones is a joke. He does not know how to run a franchise. He's washed. And I understand that he's won Super Bowls. I don't care. Cowboys won Super Bowl. Cowboys fans won Super Bowl right now. And you're not delivering that. You're not giving them a chance. You're not giving Dak Prescott a chance. You're not giving CD Lamb a chance. You're not giving anybody a chance because you have Mike McCarthy as the coach. You have no
You have a lot more
receivers.
problems along with
You
Mike
have
McCarthy.
no
but
receivers, no run game. Could not. You didn't even draft a running back in the draft. So many running backs were taken off in the draft. It's just Jerry Jones has made mistake after mistake after mistake. Giving Dak Prescott the money is whatever, but I think it's just a point where you have to look Jerry Jones in the mirror and say, has he been a good GM? Because he's also made a lot of mistakes.
he's the
also
owner too.
He's the owner and the GM. I don't understand why he's the owner and the GM. Give that to somebody
No,
else.
because they're not
But
going to, because he's not going to sell the team in the first place. So
yeah,
you're
he won't.
cooked.
He won't.
To be
Yeah.
fair, listen. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that this is happening because the Cowboys fans and Cowboys organization, it just makes me happy that they're suffering like this because it's always great it's always a great day when the Dallas Cowboys are garbage in my opinion. But and it's just funny every time that they implode in the playoffs. It's always it just at least soothes I think America wins when the Cowboys are bad, actually. But anyways, that's just me. If you're a Cowboys fan, I am so sorry. But you know,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, I guess that's gonna conclude. I kind of went a little bit overboard with their our takes and stuff, but hopefully everyone enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We have an episode coming out every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Any final remarks?
No, but I think Aaron Rodgers is about to hit 300 yards. But no, not really. I had a fun time in this
Exactly.
podcast. Go subscribe. Go like and comment down your take in the comments down below.
And we'll see you guys.
I just want to say that.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.